Overwhelm is very common, and most people feel overwhelmed in any given day. And it's okay to feel this way. There is nothing wrong about feeling overwhelmed. We all do. We just need to know how to overcome overwhelm, and this episode of Living Extraordinary podcast is all about how to overcome overwhelm.
Hi, I'm Shirish Gupta, and I empower people to hack their success, rise above the challenges, and confidently create an extraordinary life they deserve.
Well, hey everyone, how are you doing today? Well, I'm Shirish and welcome to Living Extraordinary podcast. So today we're going to talk about overwhelm. Now, as I said in the beginning, we all go through this feeling, and I remember feeling this way for some time. And in fact, it was unknowingly for many years. I don't even remember when did I start feeling this way. Probably high school with all the academic load. But then it continued in my professional life, and then it aggravated during my entrepreneurial journey before I actually took a notice of it. And there was this time when I used to feel very irritated and felt moodiness, could not focus on tasks, and I was missing out on my fun favorite activities. But one day when I decided to create an extraordinary life for myself, and I started with the first thing, self-awareness, I realized that I feel overwhelmed and it is not helping me much. And you know, when you are feeling overwhelmed, like most people, I too tried to pack too much into my schedule in a desperate attempt to get things done. Well, does that sound familiar to you as well? Well, I'm sure it does to a lot of people, as this is what we all do, pack too much. But you know, it hardly works. You can't get things done with that strategy. Now, this is an important lesson that I've learned, that I can't get things done by packing too much in my day. In fact, with that, I felt even more pressure to get things done, and everything seems crashing down upon. Feeling overwhelmed is a common problem, but it can lead to some very serious consequences like stress and anxiety. And it's hard to stay on top of everything when we are feeling constantly stressed out. Like juggling work, family, and social obligations can feel impossible at times. What I've realized that feeling overwhelmed doesn't have to be a part of our lives. Should not. There are plenty of ways to reduce the amount of stress in our day-to-day routine. And we will explore some super simple and easy ways to remove this overwhelming feeling right here in this episode. So, how do you fix this? How do we avoid feeling overwhelmed in our lives? Well, now, I'm sure you must have heard a lot of people saying that when you feel overwhelmed, you must calm yourself down, like do deep breathing, meditation, or even talk to a mentor or a counselor or even a therapist. Well, all these are great solutions, but it is still not addressing the underlying reasons of feeling overwhelmed. It's like you have a headache, so take a painkiller and you're done. Yeah, of course, for that time. But then you'll have headache again the next day. And then you take a pill again. And I've tried all those solutions and it worked temporarily, but then the overwhelming feeling comes back again. So I was looking for a permanent solution. I wanted to find a root cause and get rid of the problems permanently and not being dependent on that pill. So what I found was the first reason people feel overwhelmed is because of the mindset. Yeah, and it was same with me as well. As I said in the beginning, when we feel overwhelmed, it's because we are perceiving a situation as being too large, too much, or too difficult for us to handle. Think about it for a moment, isn't it right? Our mind is running through all the possible outcomes and scenarios, and most of them seem negative. Like, we feel like we are in our heads and we can't possibly find a way out or way to fix this situation. It's like we don't have any control, and that's what we need to change. The most important step to getting rid of feeling of overwhelmed is to change our mindset. Yeah, the first thing that helped me a great deal is a realization that I am in control. That's really a game changer. It's a mindset shift and operating from the thinking that you are in control. The moment you think about this, you feel that you can change the situation. You can overcome overwhelm. Because when you are in control, you're going to dictate what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. So you must have control of what you want and say no to everything that is not supporting you in your goals. Another thing, instead of perceiving the situation as being too large or too difficult, we need to see it as an opportunity for growth. Sounds a bit tough, right? But listen to this. While researching on how to overcome overwhelm for this script, I came across a TED Talk and it had some great solutions. So, have you ever watched a movie called Matrix? And it's a great movie, by the way, if you haven't watched it. I would recommend to do so. So, in this movie, Neo and Trinity, the protagonists, were fighting the bad guys. And then they saw a helicopter parked on the roof of the building and they tried to reach there. And then Neo asked Trinity, "Do you know how to fly that thing?" To this, Trinity said, "Not yet." And then she called the operator and it downloaded the flying program from her phone to her mind. Well, yeah, that's a science fiction movie. And it's all about having different programs. But the point is, exactly how Trinity responded is the best way to deal with overwhelm, is to move our thinking from no way to not yet. Yeah, that's how we must handle things in life. That's how we must overcome overwhelm. Because when everything comes together at one time and we get in a habit of thinking, no way, I can't do this, just change your thinking from no way to not yet. It really works well. We'll try it. Apart from the two mindset-related solutions I've just discussed, one of the main reasons people feel overwhelmed is because they don't have a clear plan or vision for their lives. Yeah, that's true. This is one of the most common reasons, and that is exactly what was happening with me as well. Like, I had a plan, as I always have been a planner and I love to have my vision, but I realized it was a very vague plan and it was not concrete. And without a solid plan, it's easy to become overwhelmed by all the things we have to do by ourselves, from other people, and all. Without clarity and plan, we keep doing things that come our way. And I can tell you from my experience, random things will always pop up almost every second. This is why it is important to take some time each day to focus on what you want to achieve. When you have a clear plan and vision for your life, it's much easier to stay on track and avoid feeling overwhelmed. Yeah. Now, if you're someone who thinks, I am not a planner, I can't do this, I don't know about my tomorrow, how can I set a vision for 1 year or 3 years from now? Nah, that's not me. Do you think that? Well, let me tell you that I too was like this, but then I realized if I want to be successful in life, if I want to build an extraordinary life for myself and people around me, I need to learn how to create a vision and plan for my life and then set out goals to achieve it. It's really important, so don't shy away from it. And I'm not asking you to plan 3 years from now. If you're someone who doesn't like to plan, just plan your day to day or a week or a month. That's it. Decide what's most important for you this month and do it. This will help you get rid of your overwhelm. And once you've understood that, the next thing or most classic reason we feel overwhelmed is because we try to do too many things at once. Sounds familiar? It's like we cramp up too many things in our schedule. When we plan, we wrongly estimate the time it takes to complete a task. We assume we can achieve 2-day job in just 2 hours. And then we put too many tasks for us. We overestimate our capability, and that's when we feel even more overwhelmed. We try to juggle too many balls, and we can quickly drop them and feel like a failure. And I'm guilty of doing this for a long time in my life. I would put 10 things in my calendar and I will always inflate my capability as if I'm a superhero and I can do things in a blink of the eye. It's like I'm Doctor Strange and I have the control over time. All right, who doesn't want that? But on a side note, for people who don't follow MCU, Doctor Strange is a superhero in Marvel movies who has control over time through a time stone. So I thought I can do 10 things in a day and I would run thin for time every single day, feeling even more overwhelmed with missing deadlines, too much to do. And actually not doing anything at all because that overwhelming feeling has enveloped me. And now all I can do is think and take no action. And if you can relate to this or you do this too, what I've learned that it is important to focus on one thing at one time and give it your full attention. Once you've made progress in that thing, you can move on to the next thing. So take off the pressure to do everything at once. Plan to take up one thing, then add another, and so on. Make sure you must be in control of your daily life. Don't let too many tasks overpower you and throw you out of control. Well, as an action point to this podcast, apply these 4 solutions. Number 1 is I want you to believe that you are in control. Yeah. Second, if you're not able to handle some things at this time, just say to yourself, maybe not yet. And then do have a plan for your day to day, just for today, maybe. And last is to get the work done one thing at a time. Apply the solutions to overcome overwhelm. And please don't compromise with the quality of your life. It is the most important thing for all of us. Figure out what's bothering you and take action to build an extraordinary life for yourself. If you're feeling overwhelmed right now, don't worry. Just follow these steps and you'll be back on track in no time. Remember, taking some time each day to focus on what you want to achieve is the key to avoiding feeling overwhelmed. So start today and you'll be well on your way to living an extraordinary life. What I do is every morning I think about what I need to do in my life. So try to do that. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Living Extraordinary with me, Shirish. I hope this helps you to get over with your overwhelmed in your own life. If you've enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Or I would love to hear them from you on my Instagram and social media platforms. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.